another episode of Shave and a Haircut. I'm your host, Kenneth Trammell, along with my wife, Latanya Trammell.
Good evening.
We are here again today to talk about some issues and some topics that we can both relate to and have a lot of conversation about. So before we get started, I want you to like this page, share this page, tag some friends, tag them, have them come on in and share it, tag it, like it, retag it, reshare it, re-like it. If you got kids that's not there right now, play it back to them later on so they can see what we're talking about. So the topic of my subject today is how do you know that your child's in a game? What are some signs that you know that your child is in a game? I had the pleasure of earlier probably earlier today, to go down to Grambling to Lincoln Prep. Had a chance to sit down and talk to a great group of young men and women. Some of them was ninth, they was ninth to 12th grade, so it's a nice crowd of kids. And I got asked to come down to talk about subjects and stuff that was going on, and that topic came up was games. And we had a good conversation. We had some good feedback from each other, from the kids as well as myself. They had a lot of questions. There's a lot of things they didn't know. It's a lot of things that I showed them that now that they realize that it's not as popular to be. They're knowing what it takes and what avenues it takes to be not in a game. So all right, so here's what I got to say about you guys. Here's what I got to say. One thing about a gang and a gang member is, first of all, you get recruited. So what I mean by being recruited is they watch you and see what kind of person you're about, and then they start seeing if they can convince you to join the gang. They use certain stuff, like buying, giving you stuff. Uh, Maybe somebody's messing with you, they take up for you. They they just like bring you in like you're a friend. And it's not that easy to be chosen for that game, because the activities they use and the things that they do could really change your life and allow you to be in some situations that you can't get out. So parents, I always ask you guys to, be mindful of what your kids, what are they looking like, what if they changing, if things are changing about them, the way they look, the way they dress, uh, hairstyles, signs they throw in all of a sudden, tattoos out of nowhere. If those are things to try to understand, to be looking for, to see if your child is in a gang. So we got a slew of topics about gangs. So I'm gonna let my wife read one, and then I'll reiterate what it means in my perspective. Not, this is just mine. So be mindful that this is just my opinion and my opinion only. Okay. So we'll go with the first one.
The first one is admits to hanging out with kids in gangs.
So parents, now what would you do if your child admitted to you that he was hanging with a gang member? What's the first thing go through your mind as a parent? Is it scared, upset, worried? Admitted to you that he was hanging with a gang. Upset. What's the first thing go through your mind as a parent? Worried. Is it is it is it scared, upset, worried, scared, upset, worried? Is scared, upset, worried, or is it fearful? So this that's what I'm trying to get you guys to realize. If your child comes to you and say, "Mom, I joined the gang," or "Mom, I got forced into a gang," first thing we need to do is seek what? We need to seek help. We need to find somebody that can help us help you and your son get removed from that situation. We have to find people that will help you and yourself get removed, your son and you get removed from the gang situation. So you might have to find a mentor. You might have to find somebody in law enforcement. You might have to find a neighborhood friend. You might have to find your church family and get with them. The next thing, what you don't want to do is yell, holler, and fuss because at that point in time, they're worried about how you're gonna feel about you yelling and hollering might tend to make him go over to them guys because them guys might be friendly and might be that type of crowd that he needs, he's looking for, and you don't want that to happen as a parent, correct? So make sure we have a conversation with our child when he says he's in a gang. Find out what gang it is. Find out where they're located at. Find a person that you can take with you or call law enforcement and let those guys go over there and talk on your behalf. Don't you get involved. Don't you go over there being Billy Bad and go over there and end up getting hurt. So just let other people do the talking for you because I know you'll be upset as a parent. You'll be worried as a parent and be scared as a parent. So let's try that route. We're gonna go with number two and I answer number two's question.
Shows an unusual interest in one or two particular colors of clothing or a particular logo.
All right. Now we know that they have so many different types of games and colors that they use from red, yellow, green, blue, white, orange. So that I remember back in the days, back in the sheriff's office, they had a group called the Orange Crush, and they wore orange. So you have to be mindful of what your child wear on a regular basis. Now if he just wears it Monday and that's it. But if he's wearing something orange every day, something blue every day, something red every day, something black every day, just like a handkerchief or something every day, you might want to do a little investigation and see what he's got going on and see if he's possibly getting ready to join the gang, about to join the gang, or going to be in a gang. So that's those signs you got to look for. Okay, number three.
Has an unusual interest in gangsters influenced music, videos, movies, or websites.
Okay, well, we know that some of these rappers live out those gang lives and they portray themselves as gang members and they do those certain dances. Like I think I've seen Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, uh Mac 10, they do that sea walk. And I think that's the Crip walk, if I'm not mistaken. And so now you seeing kids trying to imitate that. Now you imitating that dance and you playing around with it and you at the club doing it and you see walking, you doing the Crip walk, and then you see some blood. Or some blood see you Crip walking and you just playing around because you're in the club. You go outside and you get hurt. So you can't imitate what you see. You can't behave the way you see people behave because at the end of the day, it could get you hurt, seriously hurt, to the point where your mom is planning a funeral for you. So do not imitate. Do not do anything what you see somebody else do. Do not wear what they're wearing. To the fullest. You might can wear a orange shirt one day and that's it. But if you wear the whole entire ensemble with the hat, shirt, socks, shoes, bandana, then you're gonna be associated as being in that gang. You're gonna be associated as being in that gang, and all of a sudden you in the mall and you got all that on, and you just an ordinary kid. Don't mean you don't know. You just saw somebody wear it on TV. So now you in the mall and you wearing that whole ensemble, and you walking through the mall, and then somebody see you, a rival gang. So now all of a sudden you got a target on your back, and you don't even know what's going on. You go outside, get ready to get in the car. Somebody hit you from behind. Now they jumping on you. You don't even know why. So be mindful of what you wear, how you wear it, the way you wear it, how you portray yourself at school, in the neighborhood. You know how everybody wants to try to throw up them signs and stuff when they take pictures and stuff. You got to be mindful of what you're doing and when you're doing it and where you're doing it at. Even if you're doing it online, people don't forget. They see you walking around the street. That's the guy that threw up the sign the other day. So now you got a target on your back. So we got to be mindful of all the stuff that we say and do, the way we behave, the way we do things, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we wear our clothes. Next one, please.
Uses unusual hand signals to communicate with friends.
I just said that, okay? Using hand signals. That's what I'm saying. So you're sitting there and you're playing like it's funny, and then you end up getting hurt. I can like I told you, I'm a movie guy. So I watched the movie Straight Outta Compton one time, and I was watching it because it dealt with the gangs and stuff, and that was going on with Easy and all those guys. So they were, I could remember Ice Cube and everybody was on the bus, and they was passing by some rival gang members on the school bus. This was on the school. This is the school bus scene, but they was passing by, and one of the kids was throwing up signs to my Seawood and all that stuff, saying all those gang signs to one of the rival gang guys. He was in Impala, not right next to the bus. And so the guy cuts off the bus, gets on the bus with a gun, and asks him to say it again. Say it again. The guy said, "I was just playing. I didn't mean anything. I was just playing. I didn't mean no harm." But that's my point. Playing around and playing can get yourself caught up in something that you can't get out of. That's my point. Don't play like you're that guy, and you're not. Don't be throwing those signs. Don't be sitting up there acting like you the brave person. You're not that brave person. You have to understand that whatever you do dictates what happens to you. Whatever you say dictates what happens to you. Whatever movements you make dictates the whole thing. So remember that. Just keep your hands, all those signs and everything you're doing. Do not throw those signs, okay? Next.
Has specific drawings or game signals on school books, clothes, walls, or tattoos.
Okay, I mentioned that earlier. Has different clothes, has tattoos, has gang signs on the walls or inside the books at school, or just having anything they're not used doing and stuff you see in parents. You're noticing that it's something in his book that he never wrote in the book where he drew a sign or something, or a pitchfork, or Satanite, or any type of thing that looks like a gang. Any type of finger signs, if he got it drawn in his book, those are signs to let you know that if he's not in the gang, he's on his way, and he's learning he's learning those signs to be in the gang. So we got to be mindful of that. The next.
Comes home with unexplained physical injuries, fighting related bruises, and injuries to hands or knuckles.
Okay. So unless he got into a fight at school, and you should know about that because you should have a letter from home. If he's got bruises, uh, knuckle strap, that means he got jumped in the game. So now, if he's got jumped in the game, it's time for mom and dad to jump into action, because you got to find a way to get him out some kind of way. If you got to just send him uh, to some parents in Texas, or send him somewhere, Arkansas, Mississippi, you got to send him away for a while, because once he gets in the game, it's no way out unless they end up taking your life. So we have to do that. So we have to, when we start watching stuff like that going on with our kids, and start noticing those little bruises, those marks on his knuckles, the behavior issues, and we'll see we can work it out that way. Yes, ma'am. Next.
Has unexplained cash or goods, such as clothing or jewelry.
Okay. I hope you hearing all these things, parents, because this is certain stuff. Unless he got a job and you take him to a job every day, he has to explain why he's got that. You just don't go and they just handing out cash and jewelry unless you're doing something you don't have any business. You gotta watch your kids at this, and you gotta make sure they understand that if you bring those type of things into your life, and you get them for free, and everything they give you is not free. It comes with a cost. It comes with a cost. You got to do something in return if they give you that money or that cash or buy you some clothes. You don't get it for free. Only thing I tell people free is advice. Sometimes that costs you if you don't listen. So remember that, parents. Next one, baby.
carries a weapon.
Carries a weapon. Now you know it between the ages of well, we start at maybe 11 to 18. They shouldn't be carrying a gun or a knife, brass knuckles, or any foreign objects that they made to protect themselves. Those are some of the tricks of the trade that gang members use. They use brass knuckles. They use knives and guns. If your child's toting that and toting it on a regular basis, we need to do an investigation to find out what's going on. We have to do research. We have to talk to our kids and make sure our kids understand there's other options besides being in a gang. It really is. Number four,
Has been in trouble with the police.
has been in trouble with the police, and that not necessarily means you've been in the gang, but that's some of the routes that lead you to getting into trouble with the police, like being in the gang and doing something you ain't got no business. Like the gang member say, "I'm gonna initiate you. I want you to go to Family Dollar store, steal some stuff and bring it back to me, or go to the dollar store and rob the clerk, or go to the dollar store and commit a felony, or just drive by somebody's house and just shoot." So you have to understand these things about your kids. You got to understand there's nothing wrong with saying no, but you got to understand when the first person starts to try to initiate you to get in the game, that's when your parents need to know. There's no such thing as not telling them, "Mom, on the way home today, OG Johnson stopped me and gave me this card. And this card had gang signs uh, and stuff about being a rolling 60 on it. Don't wait until you get 2 or 3 weeks down the line and you almost in it to go tell your parents what went on. It's always a starting process to get in the game. It's called a recruitment phase. That phase that need to, if you get in that phase, you need to make sure you talk to your parents right then and there. Do not let it go past the initiation stage. But once you get initiated, then now it's a hard problem to get you out, right? So talk, communicate. Yes, ma'am.
Exhibits negative changes in behavior.
Okay. So now your baby is acting out. He's talking back to you like he never talked back to you before. He's using foul language. He's saying what's up, cuz, or making gang related slurs and stuff that you never knew your child would ever say. So if that happens, that's a sign for you to say, okay, we need to have a conversation. We need to find somebody to talk to. We need to get involved. Get involved. Because if you don't get involved, you wait too late. And we got two people gonna end up getting you. Police department or the funeral home. So we got to make sure if he's starting to display disrespectful behaviors, doing stuff he never done before, I need to take a look at that, okay?
Um, some of those negative changes in behaviors, withdrawing from your family, decline in school attendance, performance, and behavior, staying out late with no reason, without a reason, and displaying an unusual desire for secrecy, exhibiting signs of drug use, breaking the rules consistently, and speaking in gang style slang.
Well, I just said that. So you hear everything she just said, parents. You have to pay attention to everything. Now, what's here's the deal. Here's what I want you to understand. I'm talking to the kids now. When you join a game, your whole entire family joins that game. You say, what do you mean, Mr. Trammell? I'm telling you, once you join a game, your parents, your kids, your brothers and sisters, they might as well be in the game too. Because whatever affects you is going to affect the whole entire family. Whatever you do is going to change your whole entire family. What do you mean? You get in a game, you commit a felony. What I mean by that, hurt somebody, aggravated assault, murder, it affects your family as well. And what I mean by that is, while you in jail, serving a little time for whatever you did in that gang member, now your family becomes the target for retaliation of what you did. And that's what I mean by when I say, when you join a gang, your family joins the gang too. And they don't even know it. Your mom could be coming outside the store, minding her own business. And just because you decided to be in the Orange Crush group and shoot somebody and you in jail, now your mom is a target. Now your sister is a target. Little brother, little sister, uncles, aunties. Nobody's off limits when you get in the gang. So I want you guys to realize that when you get in the gang, there's nobody in your family that's off limits. You commit that felony or that violent act. Nobody's off limits. So I want to understand why that we decide, okay, this is the thing to do. I don't think that for a minute that every time if you get up in the morning time and think that, all right, I'm gonna join the gang. I'm gonna get in this gang and I'm gonna wild out and I'm gonna do whatever he asked me to do because I want to be in this gang. Scenario, like I said, your family gets in the gang just like you. All right, you kill somebody, you go to jail. You sitting in a cell, you minding your own business, right? You get a call from the warden or somebody telling you you got to call home. So you call home, and then you hear some crying in the background, some yelling, hollering, "No, not my babies," and you find out that your rival gang member that you shot, rest of the gang came over to your mom's house and shot everybody in the house. Now let that marinate in your mind for a minute. And tell me how you feel about what you thinking and what you're doing. Because if you did that and you thought about it that way, you'll think twice before you get in the game. You'll think twice before you get in the game. Or I go a step further. When you do go to jail, 9 times out of 10, you might not be in the same cell with your gang members. You might be in a cell with a rival gang member that you didn't even know was in the gang, was in jail before you even got in the gang. And then he gets on the phone and says, OG Tramble just went to jail for killing such and such. And you on the phone, you look at and you see OG Tramble in the corner over there. Now you got a target on your back. You go to sleep, might not wake up. All this because you chose to join an organization that deals with crime, that deals with killing, that deals with robbery, that deals with battery, that deals with violence. And that's what happens. That's what happens in the community. We decide we want to join this group at all costs. We don't care what it takes. We just want to be a part of something. But I tell you what, why not be a part of something that's positive? Why not be a part of something that makes a change? Why not be a part of something that creates positivity instead of negativity? Why not? And that's my point. We have to get out here and do the work. We got to have conversations every day with our kids. Every day I talk to my kids. Every day I try to give them all the tools, all the examples, everything that I know to try to keep them safe. And that's hard. That you can't, I mean, it is so hard, it's ridiculous. So, we as parents, we go to work, we come home, and we expect it to be, a nice, quiet day with our kids doing positive stuff. Not hearing um, the people, right? So what I want you guys to understand and pay attention to, and the parents and the kids, especially the kids, you got to realize that your life is worth saving. You got to realize that if you don't do what you're supposed to do, it can affect you for a very, very long time. Now, I mean by that is, how many of y'all out there truly, honestly know your friends? I'm talking to the kids now. How do you really, really, really know what your friends about? You can't honestly say that because you're not with your friends 24/7. So you don't know what your friends are doing, what your friends are saying, what's going on in your friend's life. You just gotta trust that your friend's gonna be honest with you. And 9 times out of 10, if your friend's in a gang, you should know it. If your friends have been friends as long as y'all, forever, you should know if your friends have been in a gang, being about to get jumped in a gang, and that you got to leave it. You can't do it. You can't go with them. Scenario time number two: you in the car riding with your friends, right? And y'all riding up down the road, and he looks over to the right and sees a guy that he's been beefing with for a while. You want to earn your stripes? That's what he asks you. You say, "What you mean? Well, you want to be with me or not?" You say, "Yeah." He hands you the gun. Say, "There he is, right there. I need you to kill him. I need you to shoot him." Now, what's going through your mind? Because when I was down there in Grambling, it was pretty entertaining to hear what them kids were saying. One kid said, "I'm gonna say, no, man, I can't do it." And so I took it a step further. I took the fake gun out and I pointed at his head. Said, "What you said?" And he kept saying, "Man, look, that's not what I'm here for. I can't do that. I can't do that." He had the right answer, but at that situation in time, what you think that gaming would have did? You think he either would have shot the kid in the car or would have let him get out? That is why I always tell everybody, know who your friends are. You know what your friends are about. Know what kind of stuff your friends are getting into. Make sure your friend is truly your friend. Because he's going to get in some mischief. He should have told you, Kenny Trammell, get out the car. It's not your ride. It's not your ride, man. Get on out. You destined for greatness. Get on out the car and go hit on. It's not for you. Kind of like I go back to, like I said, go back to the Boys in the Hood movie that I told you about when he told Dope Boy, "Let me out." But what, like I said, what if Dope Boy would have said no? You in it now? You in it for good? So if Trey would ever got in the car, just because Ricky got shot, and they went on with the deal, so at the end of the movie, Trey would have been killed and Doughboy. So that's what I'm trying to get you guys to see and understand. When you riding with your friend, you can rock with them all day long, but you gotta know it. You better know what kind of friend you got. You better know if he's in a gang. It's not going to end good. It's not. Even if you ride in the car with him and he shoots at somebody, and some of the gang members see you, and you don't have anything to do with it. You just happen to jump in the car with your friend and go to the store. Now you put your whole family life in danger, and you didn't do anything but jump in the car. So that's what I mean by knowing who your people are, knowing your friends are, letting your mom meet your friends, just in case you decide to jump in the car with him and the police come knock on the door. or your mom, you don't come home that night, and your mom has to pay an ass and where. Well, she calls law enforcement. She can say, "Well, he was with Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean stay up the street. You got in the car with him. How you know Jelly Bean? Well, he comes over the house all the time and says talk to my son. But if you being secretive and getting in the cars with people, hiding stuff, it never turns out right for you guys. Sneakiness never turns out right. So I want you guys to be mindful who you ride with. Parents, know the friends. Young ladies, young men, know your friends. Realize that your life is worth saving, and that's one of our problems with our kids. We tend to, once you start getting depressed and stuff not working your way, you think everybody, the people don't like you. You think your friends don't like you. You think you got to join an organization to be liked and loved. Well, I got an organization for you to be liked and loved. How about joining the church? They'll like and love you all day long. They'll love on you all day long. They'll like you all day long. That's a good gang to be in. That's a positive gang to get in. Don't try hanging out with the wrong crowd. Because all it takes is that one time. That's all it takes. That one day you decide you want to go riding with somebody you weren't supposed to go riding with. All it takes is that one day. All it takes is that. That one situation, that one spur of the moment, deciding, okay, I'm just gonna go to the corner store. We're gonna be all right. Could be the last time you jump in the car. And that's what I mean by know your friends. Because you never know what your friend just did before he picked you up. Or what he said on his phone before he picked you up. Who he talked to on his phone before he picked you up. What kind of statements he made on live or on TikTok or on whatever y'all got before he picked you up. And y'all just ride up down the street and the guy drivers come beside you and say, "What's up now?" Start shooting in the car. You don't even know what went on. Just like we got, I don't know if it's going to end up happening, but the rumor mill is that the incident happened down there at Walmart, that it was gang related, and some gangs are supposed from Baton Rouge supposed to come down here to retaliate. Now, what's crazy about it is, how do they know who to shoot? They don't. So now you got your child walking out the store, minding his own business, and then hey, he looked like one. He's dressed like one. An innocent kid gets shot based off of some craziness that went on. Nobody owns first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Nobody owns those streets. Nobody owns Robinson Place. Nobody owns Atkinson Place. Nobody owns none of these business, none of these project houses, Parkview. None of y'all own it, but then y'all are claiming it in a game. And then what's crazy about that is you claiming it and you out there doing it, and you got 4, 5, 6-year-old kids looking at you mimicking everything that you doing. Every word, every gang sign, mimicking you shooting in the park in the breezeway. This what such and such did. They doing all that because they watching it. So it's already being embedded in their minds that it's okay to see somebody get shot. It's okay to be in a gang. It's okay to cuss. It's okay to. So we got to. If you're gonna do it away from all them. Stay away from the young kids. Stop trying to influence them. We need more education instead of incarceration. We got to start educating our kids and educating our older kids as well. That's what it takes, guys. And I don't know if we're on a path of destruction, because it basically it seems like that every time I go outside, I hear fire department, I hear EMTs, I hear the police department, and they're headed somewhere, and they hit it at a high rate of speed, and it's for some type of shooting or an accident or maybe a fire every now and then. But majority of the time that they run in code for something serious like a shooting. And I don't get it. I don't understand what are we doing? What are we accomplishing? What does that do by taking a life? Does it make you bad, big bad and bold? Does it make you better? Because it don't. Because like I told you, you do all that violence. They might can't get you. They'll get somebody else to get you. You keep that in mind when you join in a gang and you get initiated to do something negative to somebody that you don't know for one or somebody that you never met before. Think about the retaliation to your folks. And some gang members won't stop till they just annihilate all of y'all, your entire family. To prove a point. So how would you feel? You sitting in the jail cell, you get that phone call, and your mom, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, they all got killed based off of one thing that you did, killing somebody because you was in the gang. So who you think won that battle? I think the opposite group did. I think the opposite group did. Do we have any questions while we're here now? Anybody want to say anything? Any comments? You can comment. Like I said, like and share this page. Share it and like it. If you got any comments, leave a comment in the post right there, or a question, or anything you thinking about for us. Wondering what signs you might not have seen, or something you might have noticed that your kid is doing.
Raymond King said they're guilty by association.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right, Mr. King. Yeah, you want to look the part and be the part. I don't get it. I don't get why we want to do those certain things. I don't get why we think it's cool. It's not cool to get a phone call and your entire family been destroyed because of something you did. Like I said, I ended up working over there at OCC for about 3 weeks, about 3 months, and we took a guy somewhere, took him to Shreveport, and on the way to Shreveport, we was driving, and he had got his jaw broke and stuff. So he was in the back seat, and he was talking, and then kind of with his mumbling. I was like, "Well, man," I said, "Well, what happened?" He said, "Well, young man, he's an older guy. He probably was in his 70s, 60, 68, and now he's an old guy." Said I was laying in the bed, next thing I know, people was hitting me. And I was like, "What you mean?" He said, "Yeah, they just hit me from all over the place." And so he said, after they knocked me out for about the third time, I woke up and some guy said, "This is for such and such, such and such." So it was his son that did something to them, and they jumped on his dad. That's what I'm talking about. Now the son's at home. Dad's in jail. Dad get jumped on for something that his son did. And I'm talking about they messed him up to the point where he had to have emergency surgery in Shreveport. All because of something that somebody else did gang related. And when again, here what's crazy about it. Same question I've been asking y'all for months. The incident happened almost 4 years ago. So what's crazy is 4 years ago, them boys got into it. And two of them boys remembered his dad and saw his dad in jail and jumped on him for something that happened that long ago. And I'm still shocked to understand why you guys can wait or can hold stuff that long and then go and then initiate a fight. It's basically unheard of to me. I've never seen a group of kids that holds a grudge as much as they do, as much as you guys do. You guys have a fight, Lord knows, and 4 months down the line and see that person in the mall, you pick up from that same fight from 4 months ago. We got to stop all this violence. We got to stop all this unwanted violence in our neighborhoods. We're to the point now where I'm in my 50s, and all my neighbors are older than me on this block that I'm on. They've been through the trenches. All they want to do now is live out the rest of their life in peace and quiet. They don't want to hear no gunshots in the neighborhood. They don't want to be outside on the back porch and hear shots or bullets zizzing by their head while they cutting their grass. They don't want to do all that. And then I can remember, even when you watch the movie The Wire, I don't know if you ever watched that before. That it used to be Sunday used to be a sacred day. Nothing never happened on Sunday. It might have been maybe a drowning or something, but nobody had any shootings. A lot of shootings like they have it now on Sunday. Easter Sunday we had a shooting at the park. Come on, man. At the park, kids outside playing, having a good time in the park. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think two people got shot that day. I don't think of no deaths, thank God. But two people got shot at the park where kids are sitting there watching you behave the way you behave. So how is that safe for you to send your kid to the park this weekend or next Sunday or next Saturday, any day? How is that safe? It's not. It has got to the point where it's so dangerous that you don't even want to go to the store. You go in the store, you go in there real quick, you come right out. You ain't finna have no conversation with nobody. You're not finna sit there and have a hey, I ain't seen you in a long time, that party. You getting in the car and you going home. It used to be back in the day, you can get out there and go to stand at the gas pump about 15 minutes talking. How your family doing? Now you can't. Because you scared somebody, a bullet up for somebody else might get you. People don't even go in the stores now. They getting food and stuff brought to their house just because of the violence that's going on. Just imagine that shooting at Walmart. I mean, at the Walmart parking lot. If those bullets would have went in the direction of the store, because I think it was maybe 20, maybe 15, 20 shot shells on the ground. I think I tried to count those little yellow things on the ground because that tells you how many bullets were down. And I think I stopped at 15, maybe. So it might have been more than that. But that's what I'm saying. So if those bullets would have went in the direction of the store, hit something in the store, or maybe hurt somebody. That's why I say that there's no care for life with our kids, with our youth. That's not. And that they have zero care about what happens to them, what happens when they pull that gun, what happens when they shoot that gun. They have gotten to the point where they just, I call it spray and pray that it hit somebody. So basically, they just shooting. They just shooting. I can remember the shooting they had at Parkview about maybe 2 years ago. It was on video. Everybody saw when the guy walked up out of the apartment and shot and killed somebody, and the guy jumped out the car with that automatic weapon and started shooting at the guy that was running across the street. I mean, running across the parking lot. He's just shooting. He was shooting the automatic. I think it was AR-15. He was shooting. He was shooting in that direction. Now, over in that direction is a bunch of apartments over there where he was shooting at. And I mean, he was letting them fly with no remorse, with no care of where those bullets went or who they hit or nothing. And that's the day and age we got with these kids right now. They're not caring what they shoot at, why they shooting at you, when they shooting at you, what day of the week they shooting at you. They're just doing it. And most of the time, some of the innocent people just be coming out minding their own business, end up catching that bullet while they jump in the car and drive off. So the gang situation here, I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. I don't. It could be, you know, getting there to the point where I think the city and the sheriff's office, I think they kind of They kind of got a handle of it. I hadn't heard anything recently about it as bad. But my concern is about our kids and letting our kids realize and understand that joining the gang can change your life for a very, very long time. And when I said, when you join the gang, your family joins the gang. Whether you like it or not, when you join the gang, your family joins the gang. And they don't even know they're in the gang. They're just there. So think about when you make those decisions, you make those choices to join a group, an organization that's filled with drama, uh, tragedy, death, and how it will affect your entire family. How your entire family life could change even if you get killed. How your family total life can change if you kill somebody. The one thing about these gang members, they come up with all kinds of ways to get you in the gang. They've got all kinds of stuff they want to use to put you in the game. All types of initiation phases, and they learning them and they putting them out there every day. They getting you to do stuff that you thought you would never do. So I want you guys to realize that and understand that if you decide to go that route, if you decide to be that guy that gets in the game, that gets involved in violence, the outcome that you're going to receive, you're going to get, is not going to help you guys. So I see Matthew down. I was on there. He knows about it. I think he did some gang work when he was at West Monroe Police Department, and so he knows. He's seen the outcome. He's seen the parents. You know, we talk about it on a law enforcement standpoint. How your parents are sitting there and they're sitting there crying and they're wondering about their baby and they're wondering what can they do, what can they say, and we have to show our kids stuff. We have to take them certain places and see. That's why I always like taking kids to Angola, and I take them there for a reason. Like I tell everybody else, it's not to scare them. I don't believe in scaring kids no more. I believe in painting a picture. Like on my wall right there, I believe in painting pictures. I want to show a kid what happens when they make their mistake. What happens when they get out there and jump into the violence, how it changes and affects everybody's lives. Bishop Roman King says several funerals have been expensive for complete recklessness. That's right. You know what I mean? That people, your kids are dying at a rapid rate. They're losing their lives at a rapid rate, and they're losing it based off of stuff that don't even make any sense. I don't understand why our kids are deciding to do these certain things. Because once that law changes, and you go back, I think it's maybe the 30th. If I'm not mistaken. I think or July the 30th. I think it goes in effect. I don't know if I'm quote me if I'm wrong, if I'm right, but I think it might be July the 30th when those laws change and where your 17-year-old will be going to the big places, be going to jail. And I need you guys to realize that things are gonna change. Things are gonna change where your kid is gonna change. We got our kids in college. Got our kids in college, headed to college. They got gangs in college too. I see my elder from my church didn't leave mileage on his sons down there southern. Uh Mr. Ramon King, his son's a senior, getting ready to make life choices and make changes. So we gotta y'all got you got it's gonna have to be some conversation and some sit down and some heart to heart conversation that you need to have. heart conversation that we need to have. And so that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand and see. I like doing what I'm doing with this podcast. I like talking to. So next time I talk to folks, I'm gonna start adding folks to my podcast to talk. I might even go out on remote to certain places and do a live remote somewhere. But if you want to be a guest, inbox me. I'll send you the topic. You can research the topic. We can talk about the topic. We can bounce off each other, sit and have a conversation. If anybody that's in there from I'm gonna try to get my brother James on there. He's a retired Monroe Police Department. Now he's working. He's assistant chief of ULM. I'm gonna try to get him on for one time. I'm gonna try to get my brother Quentin Home, retired chief and now professor at Grambling on. I'll try to get him on, and we're gonna have some conversation with some folks that has some knowledge, some years of law enforcement, some years of knowledge, and some avenues where we can try to formulate a plan to allow our kids to blossom and grow and accept.
Have you read Ray?
No, what advice?
Ray said several funerals had at the expense of complete wickedness. He remember a funeral we went to of the kid from Ridgewood. He
Oh,
think he was part of your program.
it was.
It was a life lost way too early.
It was.
That's the one with the bus.
Yeah, it was. It was an emotional day for me as well. I think Ramon was there with me. He was there. And I thank him for coming. And you talk to a kid and you watch him grow from fourth grade. He gets to his junior year, and gets off the bus, and life gets tragically taken. His junior year, and that was one of the most emotional days for me in a long time to talk about a child. And had a bunch of those kids that was there. That was his power bearers with the kids that also was in the program as well. His big brother was there. He was in the program as well. And man, that was heart wrenching for me. And that's what that's one of the things I hate the most. You talk to kids and you want to get them to ask the many questions they can ask, because if you don't, the day you don't ask that question to me and I find out something happened to you, it hits me harder than it hits anybody else. I put my heart, soul, mind, body into affecting change in kids. That's all I know, guys. I am 100% probably the best at it. And I don't have to toot my horn for it, because all you gotta do, like everybody said, all you gotta do is Google my name and you'll see what I'm about. You see that name up there on the left hand side, your right hand side of the screen, you Google that name and you see everything that I've done. It's all been for the kids. It's always been for me to make sure that these kids understand that their life is worth saving. And I'm not going to stop until they realize. I am not going to stop until they realize it. I'm not going to stop until they realize it. So I need you guys to talk to your kids, conversate with your kids, watch what he's wearing, watch his behavior, watch the changes in his life, look for bruises, right? See if he's got anything different that he hadn't been doing before. Watch for the attitudes that he had. Make sure that he's not joining something or being forced to join a game. Make sure of that, parents. I ain't saying go in there and just start grabbing the clothes and throwing it all over the place and trying to see what he's doing. I'm saying you can watch that when he comes through the door
And have a conversation.
and have a conversation, open conversation, heart to heart conversation, heart to heart conversation. Put it down for you. Have a heart to heart conversation. It's all we need. Love on them. Show them you love them. Because they'll get that love out there on the street. Same love you don't show to them here. There's a gang member out there that do show them that love that they need. That's how they recruit most of the time. They show them the love that they don't get at home. Now you got them. You got to make sure every day, every day, every day. I think about the young man. His nickname, they used to call him Juicy. That was his nickname. I think about that kid all the time. I think about he supposed to graduate. I think was maybe last year, or year before last. Was been a senior. That his mom came and picked up his diploma that year. Think about that. Now you got a mom that's picking up her baby's diploma. They got shot for something senseless. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to get everybody to see. The one thing that a parent can always tell you, they should never bury their child. Child job is to bury the parent. So how do we, as parents, get our kids to realize that joining the gang is not the option? What are some of the things we need to tell them? First of all, we got to show them we love them, right? Second of all, we got to show them we care. Third, we got to have that conversation every day. So I'm just waiting to see what are we going to do? What are we going to say? We've got 3 minutes left in the podcast. I'm opening it up for any questions. If anybody got any questions, you can at this time send me a question. If you got one, I'll answer the best of my ability. If I don't know the question, I won't be. If I don't know the question, don't know the answer, I'll make sure I find somebody on the next time and have them have that answer for you guys. I want to make sure that everybody know that you tell your kids that their life is worth saving. Love on your kids, hug on your kids. Be that parent that they can go to when they need to go to. Be that parent that's not yelling and hollering at them and frustrating them and cussing them out. You got to be that parent. You might be able to do those things. You might be able to do those things. You know what I'm saying? So I need for you guys to talk to your parents. Be a part of the parents, be a part of your kids' life. Be a part of your kids' life. Be in your kids' life. Talk to your kids. Answer every question that need to be answered. Look for those signs of changing clothes. Look for those signs of and not being in the group you're supposed to be in. Allow yourself to be vulnerable to your kids and let them understand that you'll be able to talk. They'll be able to come to you and talk. All right. So that this is the end of my podcast. We're running out of time. We got maybe 30-some seconds left. So, as I always say at the end of my podcast, quit yelling at your kids before they go to bed. Expect them to sleep right. Quit yelling at your kids before they go to school, expecting them to do good in class. Speak love, speak faith, speak honesty, speak hope, speak success into your kids' lives. At the end of the day, listen to your kids. It's the end of my podcast. Love you guys. See you in 2 weeks.